banter. Balls and banter. No excuses, just win, win, win with your balls and banter. We got balls, we got pucks, we got sticks, we got everything in between. We got balls and banter.
All right, folks, it's Thursday. We made it through the week. Hope you're having yourself a nice little afternoon as we get into some sports, some news, some entertainment. Tommy boy, how beeth thy?
That doth beeth well.
Oh.
I've begun my sojourn as Jester Maxing.
Okay. Yes, yes. I like it. I like how much you leaned into it. That's phenomenal. And you look great as
I
usual.
just learned about Jester Maxing.
Do we need to go into it?
Do you know about mogging and Jester Maxing?
Mm-mm.
I guess mogging is what the kids are saying now, is when you're in a photo with somebody and you look better than that person, you're mogging them.
Okay.
And Jester Maxing is if you're in a picture and you can't mog, you act crazy in the photo.
Okay. Always learning something. Always learning something. Look at you being up on all this stuff too.
You got to keep in line with what the kids are doing.
You got to keep aware of what the kids are doing. Can we say it that way?
Yeah, you got to keep aware of what the kids are doing. I mean, you don't want to sound, well, even though we are the unks, there's nothing. I mean, to me, it's like you need to be aware of what is going on, just like, with Roblox, with everything else that kids are into, because a lot of it, there's some really nefarious stuff out there.
Oh, yeah.
But what really irks me is when I hear like Gen Xers and especially boomers trying to drop in like mogging and Jester Maxing in like their posts on Facebook.
I just hate terms. I hate terminology. I hate society.
I hate jargon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Man. Well, lots going on in the sports world. Reminder to check out airitoutbro.com. It is the newest, greatest sports site on the planet. It's not the greatest yet, but we are scaling it up. It is going in a great direction, so go check it out. Bookmark it, share it with your friends, check out some stuff there. You can see some of the articles come through my social, some of the other different platforms that we run here at Red Beach Media. So go check that out. Some of the stories you'll see on there, man, I know we don't have them all up, but the new league year for the NFL, that is, starts March 11th. That's next week. How crazy is that, by the way? The players is next week. New league year for the NFL next week. It's going to be crazy. There's already, it hasn't officially happened because it can't officially happen, but there's already so much stuff happening. We heard not long after the Super Bowl win by the Seahawks that they're going to let Kenneth Walker go. So he'll be looking for a new home. Anyone looking for a decent running back, Super Bowl MVP. I
have an extra room at my place.
There you go. There you go. Maybe he comes here and he can stay with you. It's an option. We're just throwing out options, K-Dub. Like, that's just all we're saying. And then you could come on the show. You could be a recurring guest. Be great. But Stephon Diggs, Patriots announced Stephon Diggs will be released. They're saying contractual. I think part of it has to do with his April 1st hearing and strangulation, but
just a smidge.
Just a smidge. I think that's like, how do we see this going? Not good. All right, we're going to release him and call it a cap thing. And he wins in a PR, sort of, if you can call that a win, and we win. But he's moving on. So presuming he's not locked up and incarcerated, he's a pretty good receiver still. 31 years old. Like, he's getting older for a receiver, but still has some life in him, or he might serve life. I don't know. We don't know. He won't serve life. It's not that kind of terms that we're looking at. But Kyler Murray, lots of buzz about Kyler Murray, especially in my world. Kyler Murray going to be released by the Cardinals when the new league year starts. Probably one of the more prized quarterbacks out there, has struggled with some injuries. Man, the dude can be electric. Man, the dude hasn't had much to work with. And yet, I still have lots of questions. One of the biggest places, the two biggest places I've heard are Minnesota and Atlanta. There's other places that have been discussed as well. But he's a quarterback option that goes on to the free market. That's interesting. I mean, he can make some plays with his feet. He's got a cannon of an arm. He's only like 5 feet tall, but he's an interesting player. And I'll be curious to see. This is one of those things where the last couple years with injuries and yada, 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 and lack of coaching, Kyler Murray is not who we thought he was. Keep in mind, this is he's been a Pro Bowler multiple times. So he's shown that he can do it in not the best system. So he's either going to be the next Sam Darnold story, or he's just going to kind of float off into obscurity. I'm really curious about this one. I'm particularly curious because we're the most talked about location for him in terms of Minnesota, and giving JJ some competition and possibly someone to learn behind for a little bit. We'll see what happens with this. But he's a pretty good quarterback to let go. I mean, I've been listing names here, Tom. Do you want to weigh in at all on the wee little one known as Kyler Murray?
I'm not into short quarterbacks. I know that he does have some skill, especially when it comes to getting out of the pocket and getting some yardage. For the long term, he's not somebody I would build my franchise around. We've seen this time and time again. I mean, just look at Miami and Tua, Glass Joe. He's a little bit different. Murray's a little bit more durable than Tua is. But still, they're short, and there's something to be said, and I hate to sound negative about it, but I'm going to. I think it's just physics. I don't think in this day and age, with the time the quarterbacks have to read the field, you can't have any obstructions. And if you're not tall, it's going to be a detriment, and I think he falls into that category. Being a Dolphins fan, we have our own problems with Tua. But at least with Tua, well, I shouldn't say at least, because I feel like another one. If I were the Texans, I'd be getting rid of C.J. Stroud.
Why?
I'm not buying him either. It's
I mean,
like
he's an Ohio State kid. He's not the smartest, but he does love Jesus, and he has played some good football.
He has played some good football, but not when it counts. The last playoffs, I think that we saw exactly who he is. I don't think
swing to attacking C.J. Stroud. C.J., we're sorry. I didn't know this was going to happen.
Drew Berquist doesn't agree with Tom on this one.
I think he's got a ways to go. I don't think he's the creme de la creme by any stretch. I just am surprised to hear Tua in one breath and then all of a sudden C.J. Stroud in the next.
Right. And I'd like to change things up a little bit and zig and zag in different directions. I like to think that my takes are like the Barry Sanders of takes, where I go in one direction, stop, and then pivot, and then bolt off in another direction.
Yeah. Well, and that can be an accurate description of some of your takes sometimes. And I liked it. I mean, that's why you're here, Tom. That's why you're here. Well, but Tua.
Kyler Murray, I think you're going to be in trouble if you're a franchise in the need of a quarterback and you bring him on. Could he be a number two? Possibly. Is he going to do that? No. But, because he's way too, he's too much of a marquee guy. But I just don't see him moving on to that next progression.
Here's my okay. I'm a believer, despite all the noise out there in J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy has won everywhere he's been. J.J. has some growing up to do. J.J. has some mechanics to work on. I think J.J. can be great in this league. I hate the people in anything, not just the NFL, could be college, could be your business, it could be the landscaping company who just started. They're going to screw some shit up and run over your mailbox to start, but give them a chance. I think J.J.'s got potential. That said, I know there's lots of discussion. We just fired Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, the GM. There's all sorts of changes happening there in the administrative roles. And I know there's uncertainty. There's one of the VPs of the we don't have a GM right now, but one of the VPs of the Vikes, KOC, have come out and said they still believe in JJ, still think he can be a franchise quarterback. Do they think he's a franchise quarterback this year? That remains to be seen. Here's how I look at this. Kyler can do crazy things with his feet. And I say all this. Keep in mind, I'm not advocating for this. But Kyler can do crazy things with his feet. He can do crazy things with his arms. You give him Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Big Cock Hawk, whoever's in our backfield. There's debate about what Aaron Jones is going to be released, but there's debate about what that will look like. But a pretty stacked offensive roster. And then the quarterback whisperer and great offensive mind in Kevin O'Connell, he doesn't have to go win the Super Bowl. He has to not go lose games with crazy talent. So you put him in a situation like that, like who's to say it doesn't go super well? And I bring that up because I remember when we went out and signed a guy 2 off seasons ago named Sam Darnold. I was like, son of a bitch, this is the most dumbass Minnesota Vikings thing I've ever seen. He's terrible. We went 14-3, and he played terrible at the end in going into the playoff games. But son of a bitch, like, was I wrong? Yes, I was so wrong. He just won a Super Bowl this past year, by the way, with the Seattle Seahawks. Another huge season. So you just never know. Like when you factor people in, I didn't even intend to talk about this long, but clearly I have a problem with the Vikings, and you just never know. Like you work in a Kyler Murray to a KOC offense with those weapons around him. Maybe that's what he needed. Again, I'm not cheering for it. I'm cheering for JJ to become the guy. But if Kyler comes in and they do sign him and he blows it up, I will be his biggest fan. I'll get a life-size poster that's as tall as a ruler and put it up in my house. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. A couple other names that have been mentioned, and they've also been mentioned with Minnesota, which I hope this next one doesn't happen. Tom, your guy. Tua expected to be released. Son of a bitch. If we sign Tua Tagovailoa, like, I don't know what I'll do. And the same thing could be said. Well, yeah, but you just said that about Sam, and look how he turned out. Maybe Tua needs the right system. Maybe so. Maybe so. That one feels more wrong. I would rather have Kyler than Tua. I just would. But someone's going to...
durability-wise, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Tua, he trips and he's out. He bumps his head getting out of the car and he's got a concussion.
Yeah,
I still don't understand how he's still in the NFL.
I don't either. And you can actually argue, like, I'm not gay, so like I don't get into all the concussion speak that everyone else does. I'm not saying that there aren't some bad concussions. I'm not saying that having too many is not a bad. I understand what people are saying. I also don't think that people have gone too far with it. And I understand TBI. I understand all that stuff. I understand it from both my playing days and then my adult career, where TBI is a huge issue. It's a massive one, but concussions in and of themselves aren't always as bad as people make them out to be, unless your name's Tua. It's like, dude, you need to stop playing. Like, you're gonna die soon. Like, you're setting yourself up for failure. I don't know. We'll see what happens with him. Kirk Cousins also set to be released. A lot of people saying he could come back to Minnesota and serve as a mentor to JJ.
Yes.
Would you go to games?
Of course I'll go to games. But I mean, there's lots of examples of what I was going to say, but I'm going to keep it clean of what we could do, and I would still go to games. But that's a possibility. Geno Smith expected to be released. He's also being talked about in Minnesota. Minnesota obviously is in the quarterback conversation, so we'll see. David Montgomery from the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs is so damn fast in Detroit. Took over most of the carries. Most teams running back by committee now, but David Montgomery wants to do more. He's getting sent in a trade when it's not official yet. The trade's official, but it hasn't actually happened yet. He's going to Houston to play with your guy, C.J. Stroud, Tom. Trent McDuffie, stud corner from the Chiefs, getting sent for a slew of picks to the L.A. Rams. Bengals going to let Trey Hendrickson go. I bring all these things up. We went on a sidebar that was a little bit long for Kyler Murray. The league year starts next year. Nothing is official and on paper until then. But boy, oh boy, is there a lot of stuff happening already in the world of the NFL.
Yes, and we're right on the cusp of the United Football League starting and arena football.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All those things are true. I get more excited about it each year, Tom. You're getting me there. You're getting me there. Some of the rule changes, good. Again, I just need fans. If UFL had the amount of butts in seats that the Arena League had, I would be more on board. Like, the Arena League is a WWE crowd. It's small arenas, 10, 15,000 seat arenas. They get a decent amount in there.
They played their championship in a mall last year.
Yeah, like they've actually got it. They've got it pretty dialed in. I think the UFL has a chance to dial it in further. We'll see. We just got to get more people in seats. Again, give out free stuff. Free beer, free hot dogs, free brats, free pretzels. I'm there. And so is everyone else. Have you noticed how obese our country is? You give free food away, they might not even care about football. They're like, hell yeah, honey, we're going to the game. Who's playing? Don't know. But we're going. Speaking of football, it was just, I don't know, weeks ago, we talked about this fine man being put in hospice care at his house. And now what we all suspected, of course, would be the outcome of that. Legendary football coach Lou Holtz has passed away, did so yesterday at 89 years old. Absolute stud, giant, legend, was a part of so many programs, came in, built things, turned things around, went to another place, built things, turned things around, created great young men that went out that are now businessmen, entrepreneurs, leaders, family, leaders, husbands, all those things today, fathers. And really, there's an article on airitOutBro.com. You can go check that out. Current head coach at Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, who is a stud himself, very, very highly sought after. A lot of different college programs wanted him this last off-season coaching cycle. NFL teams wanted him. He put out this statement, which I will try and read from the screen. And it goes like this. We are deeply saddened to hear of the passing of Lou Holtz. Lou and I shared a very special relationship. He welcomed me to the Notre Dame family immediately, offering a great support throughout our time together. Our relationship meant a lot to me as I admired the values he used to build that foundation of his coaching career: love, trust, and commitment. Lou's impact in Notre Dame has gone well beyond the football field. He and his wife, Beth, are respected across campus for their generous hearts and commitment to carrying out Notre Dame's mission of being a force for good. On behalf of the Notre Dame football program, we send our love to Lou's family, friends, and former players, wishing you all comfort and peace during this difficult time. I mean, his Notre Dame teams, man, obviously the 88 national championship team, really, really good. This is a guy, I talked about it a few weeks ago when he went into hospice care. This was a guy that I did, even though he coached at the University of Minnesota at one point, which my oldest brother played at. I grew up in that state. Like, we're Golden Gopher fans, not as much as we are Michigan fans, but we're Golden Gopher fans. Even someone who had coached there, when he was at Notre Dame, he was, the Bill Belichick or Nick Saban for some people. It's like, stop it. Stop winning so much. I hate you. I hate Christmas. Like, you go full Grinch mode on him, but he was so good, such a good coach. The more you learn about him as you get older, and we all evolve and change and grow as we get older, of course, Lou no exception. He's just a good guy. He's just a good guy, a great person, and we lost a good one with him, for sure.
We did. And I had the great fortune of living in South Bend, Indiana at the time that he was still coaching there. So I had a lot of times where I would go to where he was speaking for the news station I was working at and have the opportunity to film some of his speeches. And if you've never seen a Lou Holtz speech, do yourself a favor, get on YouTube and pick out any one that you want, because they are hilarious. The guy had some of the most impeccable comedic timing of a non-comedian I've ever seen, and plus his magic tricks are just absolutely fantastic. And speaking of the sense of humor, one of my favorite Lou Holtz quotes was he was asked once about the Catholics versus convicts game, the Miami versus Notre Dame back in '88, which you had referenced. And he was asked about the T-shirts, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't like those T-shirts one bit because there were a lot of guys on the Notre Dame football team that weren't Catholic." And I mean, it's so good. The timing was so great, and that was one thing about Lou Holtz that I always enjoyed was his comedic timing, and also something else that I felt he was one of the best at, and that was motivating.
Yeah,
Because at the time that I was in South Bend, coincidentally, the film Rudy was being made, and one of the scenes, and I was filming the behind the scenes of Rudy, and one of the scenes that I remember recording was the famous scene, "You're 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing, without a speck of talent." That sums up Lou Holtz to me, because when you look at him, you don't think much. But man, once that man opened his mouth, he was a giant.
Yeah.
You can talk, and you hear players that played for him at Notre Dame and other schools, the way that he was able to motivate his players and get the best out of them. To me, that's what you look for in a coach. If you're an athletic director or if you're the owner of an NFL team, no matter who it is, you want somebody like that. You want like the Marcus Freemans. To me, they're all cut from that same sort of mold. But Lou Holtz, to me, was just in a different category. Whether you hate Notre Dame or love Notre Dame, I still think there is a huge amount of respect in the college football world for what he brought to the game. Just being so, and you know what? The thing is, Lou always comes across as being like a small guy, and he was small, but he's not as small as you think he was. I always thought that he was like 5'5", and when I did get a chance to meet him, I think he was taller than I am, and I'm 5'8". So it's very deceptive the way that he carried himself, just in and amongst the giants of the football world. And I also think, weighing 135 pounds also helps with that diminutive stature. Yeah. But he was a larger than life person, and just being in his presence, it was like you knew that you're around somebody special, because people always talk about aura. The man had a tremendous aura. You just wanted to be around him. You were held on every word that came out of his mouth, because either he was going to tell you a joke or tell you a funny story or inspire you, or he would ask you for a joke or a funny story.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you do look tiny when you're walking out with Notre Dame offensive lineman
5'10" out
of the tunnel. 5'10", like that's a decent sized human being. That's pretty damn average.
Yeah.
But then when you're standing next to your whole offensive line and you're like, that's a different story. We shared one of these before. Let's just share two more great quotes, because you talk about Tom, like he's known for being an inspiration to not just his players, but the community, to people around campus. He says some great things, but these are just a couple more famous ones you've probably heard before. The second one we've already read on the show before, but this one is, your wife's not your best friend, your dog is. Lock the two in the back of the trunk. Come back 2 hours later, see which one is happy to see you. That's a good one. And then this is the one that we've referenced before. Want to be happy for an hour, eat a steak. Want to be happy for a day, play golf. Want to be happy for a week, go on a cruise. Want to be happy for a lifetime, put your faith in Jesus Christ. Lou Holtz, very outspoken about his faith, particularly in his later years, helping lead people to Christ. Hard to argue with anything being more important than that. Great guy. You'll be missed, Coach. You lefty. I'm telling you, if you're not a sports person, the most influential people in my life are coaches. When my high school football coach died, I felt like a part of me died. When certain other coaches die, like the impact that these people have, like you see them, and it's so commercialized now, particularly at the collegiate level. You see them on the sideline, you hear headlines about this coach just signed this new whatever, $1 million contract, and you see them as just like different, but like I'm telling you, especially the good ones, and there's some that are elite. Lou was elite. I don't think that there is, and I'll go to my grave, I don't think that there's anyone out there that impacts people more than coaches. It's a daily relationship thing. Some of it not fun, but man, the impact that you can have on young lives, and I got to experience it being a player. I got to experience it being a coach, and you see some of the transformation, and then you hear them say some of the things about you at, end of year banquets and some of these different things. And it's like, and you still have them in touch with you. Like, I still have players reach out all the time. It's like, wow, like, this is forever. And it's just, again, if you play football or any sport and you were close with your coach, it's, that. But man, the people who do this for life and the impact that affects you, and you're like, how does it affect me? Because the people that you interact with now at work, or the person that you married was instructed, led, and encouraged by this guy right here. And the net result of what you're getting to experience now doesn't completely, but like, is because of this person. So I think coaches are so important, and Lou is a good one. We hate to lose him, but we're grateful. The whole world's grateful that we had him. So thank you, Coach. Job well done. Good and faithful servant. Okay, let's take a break. We're going to get into several more stories. I don't remember what's coming up next because I know I'm all focused about Lou. Oh, yeah. Let's get into some jersey patches and some other news that Sharon Moore is like, man, you couldn't have just not waited one more year to hire this chick at Michigan. I'll explain what I'm talking about. It's coming up.
Are you sick of staring down food that you want to eat, knowing deep down you shouldn't? Or how about being sick of your neighbor Gary, looking fit and trim as he waves to you at the fence line? There's a better way to live, and it takes only a minimal amount of discipline. Introducing No Fuss to Give. No Fuss to Give does not actually alter any hormones or chemical balances in your body. No. This little pill just gives you the courage to let loose and let live. So drop the worries of health and social judgment. Undo your belt and live a little with No Fuss to Give. 97% of participants in a No Fuss to Give trial gained significant weight and added serious health complications to their lives. However, other data suggests they felt great about drowning their sorrows in highly saturated fat, decadent desserts, and gluten and dairy rage sessions. This product is not approved by the FDA or any medical body. No Fuss to Give cannot guarantee success or a long, sustaining life for those who take it. But there's a chance it may work about as well as any other bullshit pharmaceutical product you see on your screen. So give it a try and give us your cash. No Fuss to Give. No Fuss to Give. Bullshit pharmaceutical products.
Who doesn't love a little commercialization? I actually don't. I hate it with a passion. But we've got to talk about it because we've seen all of these discussions in recent weeks, months, particularly in the new wilderness that is college football, where you've got conferences talking about private equity deals, looking at you, Big Ten. Thank you, Michigan, for saying no to it. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen ultimately. But we've seen stuff like this. We've seen all of these different ways where we, and you just know, right? You know how it's going to go. Money's going to creep further and further into college football in particular, but college sports because of NIL, because of all of the stuff that's going on. Well, let me introduce to you the first jersey patch that you will for certain see in the fall. And it is and I will not, it's a athletics department decision, not my buddy's decision. But Arkansas has signed, as you can see on the screen, a 5-year jersey patch sponsorship deal with Tyson Foods. You can see an example of that Tyson's food patch on the Arkansas uniform. It will be on all varsity sports uniforms for the next 5 years, barring a change in the deal or some sort of early termination clause. But it was ruled and approved starting, I believe, on August 1st, but this next coming school year, that you can sell that space. You can't sell you can't go full NASCAR yet. You can sell a spot, and it has to meet certain inch by inch dimensions. But you can do it. So now Arkansas basketball, men and women, Arkansas softball, baseball, football, all of it will have a Tyson's Food patch on there, and we enter into this incrementally closer to being NASCAR phase, where ultimately everyone's just patched up. The courts and the field are going to have stuff for Tyson Food, which that's already going to happen as part of this 5-year deal. I don't like it. I am not surprised by it in the least. I think that you will see some more memes about this very discussion coming up here soon, and you will see some more teams do this, because in this era, you've got to raise money to pay your players. The Arkansas athletic director did say, which, I guess some form of kudos is to be called for, because 90% of the funds from this deal will go to players. But, man, can we figure out something different? Like, I hate commercializing uniforms like that. Uniforms are sacred to me. I am a total uniform homo, and I get way into it. I admit it. The guys know it. You guys all know it. But as soon as you start putting patches on, if it's a Peach Bowl patch because you're playing in the Peach Bowl, that's fine. You're playing in the national championship, that's fine. If you're celebrating for one season only someone who is of great historic, has great historic meaning to your program, and they've died, like, okay, wear a patch with their number or their initials, whatever. That's fine. Still don't love it, but, like, that's okay. I'd prefer the sticker on the helmet. But commercializing the uniforms is a line too far. I'm not surprised. I knew it was coming. I'm just sad that we're at the point where it's here.
Yes, it's a brave new world. I'm with you. I don't like it, but I understand it. It just as I don't like soccer uniforms. I hate seeing the advertisements all over the jerseys. It's like, what is this? Is this a team or is this a sponsorship? And if you're somebody who wants to purchase that jersey, why would you advertise for somebody else? I don't get it. But one of my questions is, okay, so the university signs this deal and for Tyson Chicken. So now, what does that mean for NIL? I know they're going to get the athletes are going to get a percentage of whatever that is
90%,
from the signing. But how come? Okay, let's look at it this way. If I'm an athlete and I buy, let's just say, a Ben & Jerry's franchise, with my NLI money, and I make a deal with Ben & Jerry's, and I have this franchise, what's to prevent me from putting Ben & Jerry's on my jersey? Yeah, are we opening up that door too?
No, it's that's not permissible under the current rules, and it's not player driven. Like it's all university driven. And
right, but I'm saying we're going to get to a point where I think it is going to be player driven, and I think that's another question that's going to have to be asked, because if you get a number and you're getting money from that jersey number, then whoever is sponsoring you, why can't you have your sponsorship correlate with your number?
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I hope that – look, the weird thing is we're in the same offseason. It's being proposed, not final, but it's being proposed that you can't jack your pants up and your knee pad up onto your thigh, and that everyone has to wear the same leg coverings so the color and consistency of your look for your team is consistent. I love that. Like, that's a cleaner look. Like, that actually will be a better – looking product on the field. You can add some flash and some flair with your towel and your wristband and yada yada yada, but it's going to be more uniform, which is more aesthetically pleasing. And then at the same time, we're adding this other part, and it's like, but hey, Ricky, you got to wear white tights. Everyone's wearing white tights with their socks, whether you go short or high socks, middle socks, whatever. We're wearing black cleats, and there's also going to be a Tyson Food patch on your jersey. Like we're going the right direction here, and then it's like over here you're like, hold up, this is not ideal. Again, inevitable. here's what I do hope, is that everyone does, I will give the NBA some credit, because to a certain extent they've done a decent job of making sure that the sponsor, the partner, and how the logo is stitched into the jersey is a little bit more seamless. Like, it can't feel like, I love NASCAR. Don't get me wrong, NASCAR fans. I love NASCAR. I'm looking forward to the race this weekend in Phoenix. It can't feel like all these, like, in your face, like, well, we're purple and yellow, but who cares? We're putting a black and orange patch on our jersey, like, because we're signing with these guys. We got Home Depot, so we're putting orange and white on here. Like, you need to do it right, where it's a little bit less seamless. I think it'll start that way, and then I think it'll expand into something different. And eventually we're going to have those stupid things they have in soccer all along the field.
It'll just be graphics on there.
Have like Penn State with the Burger King logo on the side of their white helmet.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like the kids versions of the NFL games where it's like on Nickelodeon and the characters it's just going to be that. You're not going to really see the players anymore. It's just going to be computer, animated stuff over them as they play.
Here's the deal. I'm looking to you, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, USC, a couple schools like that. You be the ones who hold out. Do the right thing here. Because it's not, imagine a patch. You don't even have the name on Notre Dame's jersey, but you're going to put a Chick-fil-A patch on there. Like it just doesn't work. Like, don't do it. Like, I get it. And here's the thing. Arkansas, great program. I hope Arkansas does great. My buddy's the head coach there now, and I'm cheering for them. I hope they go and win the SEC. Arkansas is not Alabama. Northwestern is not Michigan or Ohio State. If you're a smaller school and you got to do something for a little bit to juice your NIL money to get into that category where you're finding some additional donors and boosters, I hate it, but I get it. But you top dogs with huge endowments, with huge boosters, with huge investors, with huge all this stuff, like if Michigan and Alabama end up going this route, that's a massive failure. You don't need that money. Don't sell out for Meijer. Not picking on the Meijer grocery stores, but don't sell out for Meijer because you can get a little bit more. But if you do, at least make it maize on the sleeve. But golly, don't do it. Don't do it. It's so terrible. Speaking of Michigan, it's been a tumultuous few years. We've won a natty. We've had some drama. We've had some allegations, most of which are bullshit. Like, again, not bullshit that they didn't happen, but bullshit that because everyone does it. And that was all just normal stuff. The NCAA hated Jim Harbaugh. We've had some coaches have some interesting arrests. I'll be the first to admit, there's some headlines that don't look great coming out of Michigan.
Like breaking into your girlfriend's apartment and threatening to kill yourself.
Yeah. So Sharon Moore goes down in a blaze of glory. Should have never been hired as the head coach. Like, that was such a terrible decision. He then his career ends that way. He's sleeping with a staffer. Not so unattractive, but comparatively speaking to what you're going to see, not as attractive. So ends up, cheating on his wife. Don't do that. Ends up sleeping with a staffer who's an employee of the University of Michigan. Don't do that. Ends up then trying to, breaks into a house and threatens to kill himself in front of her. Just don't do anything Sharon Moore does at this point is basically how that shakes out. And by the way that the cops handled it, it sounds like he might get off on some charges because of that. What Sharon still did was terrible. And what he did on the field, arguably more terrible. But he probably going to get some hate for that comment. Yeah.
Now, wait a second. I just want to make sure that I have this correct. Don't cheat on your wife.
Yes.
Don't break into your girlfriend's apartment.
No breaking and entering.
And don't threaten to kill yourself in
Yes.
front of your girlfriend.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
It's a nice quill you got there.
It's very nice. I love that. Thank you for being so studious and taking notes, Tom. It's what sets us apart.
Rules to live by.
So Sharon gets fired, right? Because of all this stuff. He should have gotten fired. Should have never been the coach. And right now, as he's dealing with all this legal stuff, he is so pissed. There's at least a tweet or two about this later. He's so pissed because what does Michigan go and do? But they hire Skylar Fan, to come in and be a key part of their staff, managing official and unofficial visits. And Sharon sees this and is like, say what? You brought this chick in after I left? And also Michigan, I will say this, Skylar Fan, very attractive young female, very domineering looking. Is this, I'm all in on the maize and blue, baby. I love them. I'm wearing the shirt today. There's a helmet here. There's all sorts of other paraphernalia throughout. Is this the look we want to go for right now? I don't know. I mean, I'm both like super proud of it and super disappointed all at the same time. Now, the young recruits who come onto campus, they're going to love this. Everywhere she's been, USC, Texas, she has helped recruiting. When you've got the Michigan name and that, I think that's going to help recruiting. But it's a weird thing because, like, you bring in Kyle Whittingham, who's like this old school, respectful. He was a great hire, amazing hire. And it's like right in the ship with Kyle Whittingham. Kyle Whittingham's the guy we need right now. And then this hire, you're like, that seems like a little different. Like, I don't know if these level up with each other. Again, if we have the top recruiting class, as long as we're not breaking the law, and even if we are, as long as it's not like too much, like I'm good with it.
Ever since she's come on, recruiting's 1,000% up. It's crazy,
dude. Michigan has hired the Ghislaine Maxwell of the NCAA.
It feels that way. I mean, it feels. I'll be honest with you. It feels that way, and like I said, I've got conflicting feelings on it because it's like, why would you hire her? Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it does make a lot of sense looking at the photos. But is that the route we're going? Like,
evidently. I mean, throw that picture back up. I just look at what that picture says. Okay, she's wearing a suit. Okay, boss bitch. But she's also spreading her legs and has her hands in between her legs. That is an OnlyFans pose. We see it all the time. And that is, I don't think that is something that, I don't know. I guess I'm an old fuddy-duddy, but to me, that comes across as it's a little bit too adult and too, I'm not going to say pornographic, but you're putting out something that just seems a bit too whorish for my liking.
Well, at least it's not the Sharon Stone like short skirt with the thigh, like.
It's close.
Yeah, I'm saying it's close, but it could be worse. It could be that.
It's very Jerry Maguire-esque. Like, I'm boss bitch, I'm sexy, I'm slutty, I'm ruthless. I don't know Skylar from Adam. Welcome to Ann Arbor, by the way. But that's how it. That's
the perception of it, yeah. And that's definitely the look they're going for. It's like, hey, I'm here. Whatever your needs are, fleur-de-lis, whatever you desire.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many things that could be said or done. We're gonna skip this and play our long bump and get into what's going on this weekend before we say anything that we regret. Skylar, again, welcome to Ann Arbor. Please bring in some great recruits. Don't pass along any sexually transmitted diseases to them unless it's one that can be managed through meds. In which case that sponsor could come on and be a part of the show.
Be on the jersey.
Like AIDS.
Oh, my goodness.
Everybody's treating themselves to a little la 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 now that there's prep.
Oh, weekend glory.
It's time for weekend glory. We got games, we got races. The car variety, that is. And we got some other stuff that probably doesn't fit as cleanly into categories. But we will discuss them anyways. Weekend glory.
Longest bump ever, best bump ever. Weekend glory.
I feel like I need a scotch and a cigarette after listening to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Skylar, I mean, she'll be giving out cigs after she's done with recruits.
Marlboro, the new.
Look, again, if we're gonna go this route, like lean in and go all the way in, like that too. College basketball wrapping up. Number 24 Vanderbilt going to number 23 Tennessee this weekend. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. You've got a couple other good games, decent games. It's not an amazing weekend, but it's a decent weekend. Wisconsin, who's unranked, but 21-9. Wisconsin, always a great basketball program. They're going into Purdue in West Lafayette there to take on the Boilermakers, who are 15th ranked. That's 4 p.m. on CBS. Auburn, Alabama. Auburn not having as great of a year. Obviously, your post-Bruce Pearl, your Pearl's son era, they're not as good as they typically are, but it's Auburn, Alabama. So there's rivalry there, and it's something to watch on TV. So I'm mentioning it's 8:30 p.m. in Eastern, on ESPN. Not that compelling of an argument, but I still suggest watching it. PGA, we've got the Arnold Palmer Invitational down in Orlando, just south of us here, kicking off today. $20 million purse. Next week they come up here. Gosh, we got to figure out the show next week. Everyone invades this town and just ruins everything for the players. The first big tournament of the year for the PGA, the unofficial fifth major. That will be great. We'll talk more about it next week. But the Arnold Palmer is this week. And if you're thinking of coming next week to the players, please don't. Thank you for your time and consideration on this.
Let me ask you a quick question. Do you think Arnold Palmer is going to be remembered for his drink or for his golf prowess in the next 100 years?
I would like to think his golf prowess, but with the generations that are coming up, I think it will probably be the drink.
Yeah, but see, everyone I know, they call it the Tiger Woods. I'm like, no, it's the Arnold Palmer. Like,
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah. No, I think that I don't know. That said, like there's components of Gen Z who are kind of surprising me and making some good decisions. There's parts of them who are strikingly similar to the millennial generation and not. I don't know. I could see it going both ways. My gut tells me, because I'm just a negative Nancy who's going to soon be sitting on a porch just with a shotgun for the shits and gigs, just grumpy, is that they're going to screw it up and remember him for the drink.
I remember Arnold Palmer as being one of the most generous people I've ever met in my entire life. I was working as a car valet at the Ritz-Carlton in Naples, Florida, and every time I would bring that man's car around, he would hand me a crisp $100 bill, and when he left, he handed me 5 crisp $100 bills. And so to me, he will always be my sort of fairy godfather of generosity. That's amazing though. But it checks out. Like he's adored, respected, loved by everybody. What kind of car was it? It was a rental car. It was like, I think it was a Cadillac. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, it was like I guess it's not his. Yeah. Powder blue Fleetwood. Okay. Delightful. Very nice, man. He and Pat Buchanan were the 2 biggest tippers I've ever had in my entire life when I had that job. That's a great tip. That's the nice thing, man. If you can get, like, I grew up in country clubs. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I grew up in Mogadishu. Like, I grew up pretty privileged. But if you can, you see that if you can get gigs at these country clubs and some of these places, like there's places around here where I live, where if you're a caddy, I mean, your tips, like the low level for your tips is outstanding. You got to get jobs at those places. Like you're like, I got to get a job. I'm going to go to the grocery store. Don't go to the grocery store. Don't go to Chili's. Go to one of these places where you've got a chance to get better tips like that. That's where it's at. Like your hourly wage is your hourly wage. Who cares about that? Go get freaking tips. I'm not saying you can start as a server at Capitol Grill or Morton's or Ruth's Chris. Like you got to work your way up to that. But like there's some other spots where you get amazing tips. If you're a young female who's attractive, drive the beverage cart. I've tried it. They don't tip me as much. You're showing too much leg.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you wear those short shorts, yeah, so, you know.
Yeah. Is that scrotum? Sure is, Doug.
You want to keep looking at it?
Oh, no, I sat in gum. You ever do that? You pull it up?
It's true. It happens. Straight Talk Wireless 500, Phoenix International Speedway. Can Tyler Reddick win 4 races in a row? Seems improbable, if not impossible. Also seems like maybe it's going to happen because he's won the first 3. So I don't know. Who knows? He's got a new paint job. MJ's going to be out there at the race. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We're back to doing big ass ovals. We'll see what happens. That'll be fun to watch. That is Sunday afternoon. Obviously, some other NASCAR festivities leading up to it. And with that, let's get into some memes.
That's meme-tastic.
That's meme-tastic.
We should do that one more time.
All right, we've got some memes. There's all sorts of stuff. There's war going on. Skyler fan hired at Michigan. All sorts of crazy stuff happening in the offseason, new rules being proposed at the NCAA, all of it. So let's just get into it and see what happens. We've got some eyes closed. NCAA, when college football players get $10 million to transfer, no big deal, eyes closed. NCAA, when you can see a college football player's thigh, big eyes. Yeah, they want to make that change. Again, I'm supportive of that change, but that is true. Like, they don't care about anything, and then all of a sudden it's like, what's going on? We've got former Secretary of State and business partner of Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton. Oh, it's so sad that Prince Andrew killed himself next week. Okay. Something to keep an eye on. Is that, I can't.
It was Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett, okay. First image.
So she just lost. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, she lost the primary in Texas. I lost because of racism. Be honest. I lost because the Republicans cheated. Be honest. I lost because everyone was tired of my hood rat gimmick. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. We're getting a little political today, but that is true for her.
One more political one, just because now she's gone.
Okay. She's never going anywhere. Basically, you just go straight that way for a while until you fuck all the way off. Someone's pointing for Jasmine Crockett. If there's any Jasmine Crockett supporters, we're not sorry. She's an idiot. She's just not smart. Here's another Hillary Clinton one. This is a Babylon Bee headline. Hillary Clinton says she only recalls meeting Epstein that one time when she murdered him.
And now we're finding out that that's not him they did the autopsy on, according to the Epstein files. If you put 2 and 2 together, and it's not being a conspiracy theorist, it's pattern recognition. There was an email that was released between Epstein and a urologist talking about the direct quote was from the urologist to Epstein, "Your prostate was removed, correct?" "Yes, my prostate was removed," was the answer. The person they did the autopsy on had an intact prostate. So somebody tell me something.
Gonna have to check out No Party Affiliation for more discussions like that.
Is your prostate intact?
I don't even know anymore. Everything's broken. I've got so many issues. It's hard to count. Okay, we've got, obviously, there's some war stuff going on. We've got, remember the old suicide drinks? We're not encouraging suicide, by the way. We hate it around these parts. But we've got someone making that drink, referred to that, laughing at World War III memes, kind of being worried about World War III. Let's just go ahead and blend them together. It's okay to feel both of those things. It is. Okay. I'm always surprised. This is just a sign when a heavily tattooed couple has a baby and it comes out blank. Tell you what, better that than coming out as a different race. That's a whole different discussion. We talked about Tyson Foods, Arkansas earlier. Georgia has signed actually their first jersey patch sponsor. Here it is, Athens bail bonds with all of the arrests, mostly traffic related. Not all traffic related, but mostly traffic related in Athens. That's amazing. Ayatollah Khamenei killed earlier this week. I mean, really great work on the intel side of things. Honestly, I say this as a former intel guy. Great work. Over 49 leaders killed in a short span of time. Like, the intel had to be really good. But at any rate, Ayatollah Khamenei is dead. And here's Ayatollah Khamenei waking up to his 72 virgins. They're all Harry Sasson.
I really like what Trump came out and said that they're like, this was supposed to be a 4-week thing. It was going to take longer, but then we had solid intel, so we just acted. Like, good. Glad you acted instead of waiting.
Go get them.
Get the job done.
And they have. The amount of leaders killed and ships sank, man, that's crazy. Whether you support, I'm not weighing it. Whether you support the war or don't support the war, what the boys and girls have done, impressive. Join the 3-day challenge, no alcohol, on February 29th, 30th, and 31st. I will tell you, I did it, and I was successful. I did it. Netflix has a or Disney. Is this Disney? Yeah, this is Disney. But Disney and Netflix both have like the and there's some great I don't think we have one, but they both have a tendency to rewrite the scripts and races of characters and reboots of things, right? Like we've just seen that. Obviously the world's changing, it's changing fast. Little House on the Prairie coming back to Netflix. This has nothing to do with this meme that's about to come up, but there's been some amazing jokes about how the Ingalls are going to look. I presume they're just going to do it the right way. Let's hope. But here's a Tarzan one. At least Tarzan will always be white because Disney doesn't have the balls to put a black man on a screen acting like a monkey. Offensive, yes, but a true point. Tom's face just straight. Magic Johnson, there's a sign. Magic Johnson wasted the world's best porn name on a basketball career. Okay, there's some truth to it. We've got a mocked-up version of a Dr. Seuss book. Solid, liquid, or gas, what will come out of my ass? We all play that game.
The little roulette.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Don't know. Just tried myself.
I sent you guys my nephew's story about the side effects of Ozempic.
Yes.
That was a great. I'm reading it, and I was like, and I didn't want it to end. I just kept scrolling like, this is fantastic. So thank you for sending that.
I posted it on my Substack, Accidental Education, in case anyone is interested in reading what the day Ozempic went to war.
Yeah. Go check it out. Go check out everything Tommy Boy's doing. Accidental Education Substack. You can also listen to his podcast. We got a picture of Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan. Back in my day, when athletes took a knee, they took a knee. Yeah. It's a great.
Dude, I long for those days where you had capers like that going on and it captured our imagination for like a month or 2 months or 3 months. Now that something like that is like Tuesday.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Who cares? Like, yeah.
The thing I didn't like this year in the Olympics is, especially during the figure skating, it's like, China or Japan. Yeah, Japan against, in the men's single figure skating. And it's like, oh, you want it to be like they're going to – and they're like, so they train together all year and they're really best friends. It's like, no, I don't want to hear that.
They hate each other.
I want make it up for the show at least. You can be friends behind the curtain. That's fine. But don't tell me –
She murdered his father.
Like, don't tell me on air, they love, going out to eat afterwards, because they're best friends. Right. No.
Yeah.
No, we need a Jeff Gillooly.
We need something.
Like I want there to be that moment where they do a jump. It's like in Blaze of Glory, he does a jump and he like looks at him across, and like gives that's what you want to have happen. But no, they're all friends.
Yeah. We always see these Lego kits after conflict erupts like it did. Here's Khamenei's compound, hard to build back, but that's it. They're just all in tatters. We've got difference between in the South. Publix subs are legendary. So we got the difference between Tua Tagovailoa and a chicken tender pub sub. Tua, $212.4 million. Chicken tender pub sub, $8.39. Tua can't read defenses. Pub sub can't read defenses. Tua throws interceptions. Pub sub doesn't throw interceptions. Tua does not bring joy. The chicken tender pub sub, or any pub sub, I would argue, brings joy. Hard to argue with that sentiment.
Jerk chicken and Gouda is my go-to.
I mean, I guess
I'm not a tender guy. To me, tenders are like, I'm a Gen Xer. So for us, it's pizza. For millennials, it's chicken tenders. And I don't know what it's going to be for the next generation. And before that, it was shit on a shingle for boomers or whoever that was.
Right. Which I think is good. Yeah.
See, this might be an unpopular opinion for people who like the chicken tender pub sub. I think their chicken tenders are bland. I don't like their chicken tenders I'd rather get,
I think they're salty. I don't get that. I go more of a traditional.
Yeah, I do some kind of deli meat or whatever, but
Yeah.
like at the times I've got it, I'm like, this is really dry and doesn't really have taste. Like, because you add, I would have to add stuff, but if you like just focus on their tenders, they're okay. You need something more.
And I will tell you this, if I'm around another male who says, I'd like some tendies, I can't be friends with them anymore.
Yeah.
I can't stand it when I hear like my kids or even their friends, I want some nuggies. Like, no.
No, it was funny
and
when Andy
adults-
Reid did it in a commercial, and that was for a purpose, and no one else should ever say it again. And also, Andy Reid should probably stop eating highly saturated foods like that.
Probably.
Okay, we've got an action figure Ayatollah Khomeini. It's dust and some glasses and his headdress, Death to America sign, all sorts of other accoutrements.
Is that a missile?
With Iranian accessories. It comes in the old kind of G.I. Joe. There's a missile. Kit. Okay, next meme. This was just pitched. This is not true. You've probably seen this story circulating on the internet, but it's a floating Waffle House that they were saying is happening in the Southeast, like where you have to like boat up to it. And I was like, holy crap, like that is so something that would show up in Louisiana or Arkansas. It just is. And maybe now it actually will. Maybe this was genius. Like it's a fake AI story.
But that's going to grow
But it's
into
going to happen there and be like, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Oh, yeah. Lake Havasu, spring break. I could see that.
100%. Yeah. You put it out in Arizona. It's got some things. I'm just telling you, like, there's some logistical things. Waffle House uses bad oils. You will shit yourself. Where does that go? Does someone come pick it up, or does it go straight into the lake? Just keep it in mind when you're water skiing. I don't know what the answer is, but you've got to keep that in mind. Like, you don't fall.
Still the most underrated cheeseburger in all of America.
Yes. They've got some good food. And certainly if it's late night and you're drunk, it's one of your only options.
Yeah. For a late night option, it's great.
We've got can you zoom in on this one for me?
On the words or like on him? Like that?
Yeah, I just can't see the measurements. So it's live look at Diego Pavia getting measured at the NFL Combine as his frontal lobe is still developing, and it has him pretty short there. He did come in pretty short. He also said, by the way, at the Combine, I'm just going to be me, like not going to listen to any of the haters. Like, well, but you maybe should not be you.
I want to like that guy so much, but he makes it so hard to be likable.
Oh, he's wearing heels, too.
I was going to say, I was like, wait a second, as I zoomed out. He's got heels
I remember
on.
there was something to it. He's wearing heels. He's a super
Look at those legs.
Great competitor. Seems like he's actually a hard worker too. He just needs to shut his mouth.
They're saying in heels he's 6 feet in that measurement there.
Yeah. He came in. I think I don't want to be heightist, but I think he was 5'9" somewhere in there. Not great. Okay, we've got a caption above an old weight room just rusted out. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Packers training facility, according to the NFLPA grades, Player Association grades, and it shows an old bench with like tape on it, rusted weights, just a total dump.
Your dad, it's like a basement, like your grandfather's basement.
Yeah, the Packers.
You know what? Speaking of, I just want to bring up a real quick thing about the practice facilities, and I didn't know this until I heard. How many bathrooms, including urinals and stalls, do you think they have? First of all, what do you think would be an appropriate amount for a practice facility for the Pittsburgh Steelers? And this is who I heard it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. With what do they have? 50 some guys, coaching staff, whatever, 70 guys
In the locker room? You're just saying not the whole facility, just in like their main space.
Yeah, the practice facility.
For the whole facility, not just the locker room.
The whole facility.
Well, where the players have access to.
Yeah, where the players have. So basically the locker room, the clubhouse. Yeah. I'm thinking 10 to 12 stalls and 20 plus urinals would be appropriate.
The answer is 5.
Wow.
5 of each? Or just
2 stalls, 3 urinals.
whoa.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Hey, can you hurry up? I got to go to the bathroom.
Play for the Vikings, baby. We've got one of the best facilities on the planet.
Hey, the rest of the offensive line, it didn't do well with those burritos. You got to hurry up.
What's their ratio for?
I didn't. It's remarkable you asked that. I didn't look into that specific stat line at the TCO Center. I just know it's way better than 5. Way better than 5. Okay, we've got Connor Hellebuck holding the Secretary of Defense sign, the old, like placard that would go on the plane that they flew back on, and it says he's holding his gold medal, and that Connor Hellebuck has been Secretary of Defense for less than a week, and he's already bombed Iran. We did get after it right after all of that. Things changed pretty quickly in the world. Okay, next tweet. We've got like a Middle Eastern pimp with necklaces. Caption: condom salesman in Iran next week. He's living large. The Iranian people probably into some stuff that the Ayatollah and the mullahs weren't super supportive of in the past. So that is actually an opportunity. Like, it's a legit business opportunity for people that are out there. Classified U.S. nuclear arsenal location. Someone put it out there. It's Gainesville and Tuscaloosa. You've got that clearly coming from a Georgia fan. Iran has uncovered intelligence that already shows the locations of the U.S. nuclear arsenal. I don't think that's true, but I see what you're trying to do there.
Yeah. First of all, you'd have to believe that nuclear weapons are real.
And next meme, we've got Lane Kiffin is leaving LSU to become the new Ayatollah of Iran. It shows him pictured there, so it must be real. I will forever cherish my 3 months in Baton Rouge, but becoming supreme leader is the next chapter in my career. Kind of checks out. Khomeini gets killed, right? Right away. You have this new dude step in, and it didn't last long. But here's a tweet earlier in the week. Breaking: Ayatollah Al-Reza Al-Rafi has been named acting supreme leader. The comment from College Football Zone: he will coach them in their bowl game, but a formal search has begun for the new supreme leader of Iran, according to Pete Thamel. Pete Thamel always breaking that stuff. Now, that particular Ayatollah was killed shortly after. It was a very short career for him in that acting role. Babylon Bee headline here: breaking story, groundbreaking new study finds Islamophobia may be partially caused by Muslims killing people all the time.
Might be.
Well,
something to think about. Who's involved behind those Muslims is a question you should entertain. So the Big 12, I don't know if you guys saw this, but I don't know if we're breaking records here. I don't know. I don't like this. I'm old school. I want like the court that Gene Hackman coached the Hoosiers on. But the Big 12 Conference Championship for the men and women is a glass digital LED floor. And it's sensory overload. Obviously, when the players are playing, they make it look more like a court. It's a hideous floor that they have for it. But then in between breaks and pregame, there's all sorts of stuff going on there. Like, there's going to be cases of Tourette's that pop, not Tourette's, but seizures that pop up.
That would be funny if Tourette's just started popping up from it.
Weird side effect, but here it is. Lots of technicals that day. But someone said this about the floor: the moment hackers get their hand on the Big 12 court and it shows a man unzipping a woman's dress. Yeah, I mean, think about it. You've created this massive screen on the floor that is theoretically hackable.
Yeah, they got to make sure the security's good. I worked a race for American Flat Track where one day our stream was not going, but Asian porn was. And and it was like, why are you stopping a motorcycle race from happening? But we literally had to like shut the whole thing down, make sure everything was good, and then get it back. It was like, really, guys? Really?
I got to tell you, like, I know there's people who love flat track and motorcycle racing. It's very niche. Even the ones who love motorcycle races, I'm sure we're like, this is an upgrade. Like, we'll take this.
Yeah, I mean, most of the people who watch it are there. Yeah. The stream is like for later and for people who couldn't make it, or it's not in their state or whatever it is. But yeah, they probably had more views happen at that point. But it just was dumb. You're just
Yeah.
going, but
Why
it
would
was.
you go Asian? You got that blur and all the crying and
We didn't pick it. It was just all of a sudden we got a text like, "Can you check the stream?" We're like, "Yeah," and we
You know
like,
what
"Wow."
I think they should have instead of the LED floor? I think it should be a glass floor, but underneath it, I think it should be a sweatshop with all these children in there making jerseys.
We could just film that and just have it projected on there.
That's a thought. It is a thought. I don't know if it's the thought. It's a thought.
As a constant reminder of how your money's being spent.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, what's the next one after this? Yeah, because this actually, let's do it in this order. So there's all this patch talk, and then, Michigan hires Skylar Fan. This one came out, college sports only. Miami has a chance to do the funniest thing ever, and then it shows them hiring Abella Danger, the OnlyFans person who was at all the games in the playoffs, the senior director of recruiting operations. And then there's another one. We saw the real news of Tyson Foods and the 5-year deal with Arkansas. Miami has an OnlyFans patch for their first uniform deal.
Come out to the Hurricanes facing FIU. It's Merkin night.
Okay. Skipping ahead, a few more.
That's it.
That's it. Oh, that's it. And I say a few more. That's all she wrote, folks. All right. Well, we do hope that you had a good time and put up with some of the nonsense that happens around these parts. Please do hit that like button. Enjoy all there's some great basketball games. There's the NASCAR race in Phoenix. There's the golf tournament, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Yeah, of course, some NHL action, some NBA action. So go enjoy that. Take a break from news, politics, all that stuff. Enjoy sports, your family, your friends, your loved ones. Pray for the Holtz family. And we'll look forward to seeing you back here on Tuesday. Please do hit that like button on the way out. Be safe, be smart, be free.
We got ball and banter.